Hello and welcome to my channel Crafting with me, Indiana Jones. But today we're not going to be crafting, we're going to be cleaning. Yay! Yes, this is part of the Cleanaplooza playlist that I am hosting for today, where we all get together and share our tips, tricks, and just plain old motivation to get your craft room all cleaned up and ready for the new year. So let's see what we've come up with for today. Now, I lost a little bit of footage. Yes, that kind of happens when you have a YouTube channel. Those things just happen. So I'm going to walk you through some motivations and inspirations. For example, the first thing you gotta do is open that craft room door. I know you keep it shut so your guests won't see it, your family members won't see it, your husband won't see it. But let's open the door. Let's be, adventurous and open that craft room door and realize this is not a burden. As a friend of mine says, this is an embarrassment of riches. That's what he would say when he would walk into my craft room. So thank you so much, Miles, because it's an embarrassment, all right. But yes, realize that number one, you are blessed to have the many things that you have in your craft room. But it's not really a blessing if you're not using it properly. So, as you are blessed with many things, you are also responsible for taking care of them. So, cleaning up and organizing is part of that blessing. So, look at it that way and not so much a chore. And maybe that'll get you started in cleaning up your craft room. Next thing, Rome was not conquered in a day. No, it wasn't. You can't eat an elephant in one bite. No possible way for that to happen. To reach from here to there, you always have to take one step. You just got to start with one step. So my next suggestion, don't get overwhelmed. There's a lot to do. I realize it's been building up month after month after month after month. That's fine. Give yourself a timeline and realize whether it's a week, 2 weeks, 1 day, whatever it is that you're going to devote, whatever it is that you need to clean up your craft room, set aside some time for it and say, okay, I'm going to clean my craft room during the whole month of January. Let's put it that way. And then set some time aside for that exact thing. So if you come home from work, let's say, and you're tired, and you decide, okay, I need to dedicate some time to cleaning the craft room, just make it an hour. Or make it 30 minutes, or even just 15 minutes. But 15 minutes cleaning your craft room is better than 15 minutes not doing anything to help your craft room at all, right? So dedicate some time and decide to make a playlist. Let's say if you decide, I'm going to spend 45 minutes to an hour in my craft room. You tell everybody, look, I've really got to work on my craft room. Not on crafting. No. Just cleaning and organizing your craft room. And make yourself a playlist of your favorite music or even your favorite videos that you've watched before of other people cleaning up their craft rooms to keep yourself organized. Or set a timer on your watch or on your phone and realize that you got to give yourself just an hour, just 1 hour, not 5 hours or 6 hours of the whole entire weekend, just an hour a day, let's say, if you want to finish it in a week. And you will achieve what you need to achieve, and you'll be amazed at how much you get done in an hour. When you think to yourself, there's no way I can possibly get anything done in an hour, you would be surprised at how much you can achieve just dedicating 1 hour a day, or just half an hour a day, or 15 minutes a day, depending on how big your craft room is and what is your goal to achieve. But it always starts with just one step. So just get started, and don't be afraid and don't be overwhelmed. You will achieve this. I know it. Next, most obvious step, let's get rid first things first. Get rid of the big things that are just in the way. Do you have a table in the middle of your craft room that there's no reason for it to be there, or that you can just take out temporarily, or chairs, or big giant baskets, or big bags and boxes of things? Find a space that you can put it away, whether it's in the garage or the shed or somewhere else. Just clear out the main part of your craft room just so you can walk around. First of all, it's the fastest, easiest thing to do, and just eliminating those big giant things that are in your way helps you breathe a little. And that's something that's very important. Take a breath, take a step, and realize that, hey, just taking out those big items is already getting you halfway there, because now you can at least see all the other stuff that's on the floor. Another important step is always take time to appreciate those who are helping you out, including your kitty cats or your children or your husband. Give them a little hug and a little encouragement. Let's talk about some common items that are so difficult to organize, and that includes ribbons and florals, lace, paints, so many items that we accumulate. Even the larger items like wood parts. Right here I'm trying to organize all of my wood that I have collected, whether it's like little wood boxes, just so many little pieces. And what I tried to do is take those little like foldable containers that you get at the Dollar Tree and use them as my containers to grab things that I don't need any longer and either give them to Goodwill or get rid of them. So I always had an empty container or empty out the containers and try to reorganize them into the different categories as I create them. As you can see me there, I'm actually filming myself while I'm trying to reorganize stuff. And it does get very messy because you're just trying to find places as to where you're going to organize your things in a new way. I can't stress this enough, but remember to have fun during the process. If not, it just makes it something very tedious. And as you can see, it's taken me days just to get through the mess that I had accumulated all over my floor. Now I'm taking away that black backdrop that I had up since Halloween, believe it or not. And it's a beautiful piece of fabric, but honestly, it should not be my backdrop. Look at how my closet has just gotten so messy. And I have to say that one of the things that really complicate is when I've received new items, whether from Temu or some of the products that I've been using, my laser cutter and my 3D printer, I had to find new ways of storing them. And I had to really get rid of a lot of stuff that was still at the top of that closet, including some of Luke's old games, board games and stuff. So I had to go through the whole closet all over again, taking out even my costumes. Why do I have my costumes in my craft room? I mean, it just didn't make any sense. So remember, give yourself grace and make space to make a mess so that you can clean it up. I know that doesn't make sense, but it will afterwards. Now, this was a decision I had to make as well. I had this beautiful fireplace mantle, but it really wasn't serving any purpose other than accumulating items there and taking away space from my very small craft room. This room is 10 by 10, at most maybe 11 by 11. It's a very small room, and for some people it looks like a walk-in closet at times. But taking out that mantelpiece is going to make space for this other table. Yes, I have 3 tables in this tiny little craft room, one for my laptop and the others to work on. So bringing in that table, and even though it's got accumulated a lot of stuff on top, I'll get rid of that as well. But just take your time step by step and make the most of the space that you have. Many people only have a little closet as their craft room, and if that's the case, that's fine, but make it work for you in whatever way is possible. As you can see, I'm already freaking out because I realize I have more stuff I have to organize under that desk. And again, time for some consolation with my kitty cat. It seemed like everywhere I turned there was a mess. So once I took care of that wall, I decided to start taking care of this wall where I had all of my paper products, all of my transfers, my stencils, and I had even forgotten a lot of the stuff that I already had, and they were beautiful, but because I couldn't see it, I didn't know I had it. There are some beautiful parchment papers or rice paper transfers that I can use, and now I know that where they are. I had my wreath forms hanging on the back of right behind my door, and they were always falling down. So this time I decided to use this extra space that I created in the closet to hang all of my wire wreath forms that I get from the Dollar Tree. So I know where they are and they won't be in my way. Now there among my stash, I found this wonderful box of all these beautiful ribbons that I have not used because I didn't realize where this was. I remembered I had it, but I couldn't find it. After finding it, I decided I had to use this in a very different way. Now, these are all ribbons that didn't have spools or were given to me by someone else, and I decided to come up with this idea, which I saw on Pinterest, I'll be very honest. And the first thing I did was take the time to iron out my ribbons, since they had been so poorly taken care of, but they were good quality ribbons. Look at that beautiful one with all the stripes. Not only did I use this for my ribbons, I used this for my lace as well, and all I did was wrap the ribbon around that beautiful old-fashioned clothespin. Okay, I know I said not to craft, but I gave myself a little break, and this is how I take a break, especially when I feel inspired. And I was very inspired when I found this beautiful embroidered ribbon that I had completely forgot that I had. Now, I don't know if this is ribbon or lace. Either way, I thought this was a perfect ribbon to create a romantic little bracelet bookmarker. I don't know if you've ever seen these. I think I've seen them once, but I thought it was just adorable. And since Valentine's Day is just around the corner, I thought this was a very cute idea, and especially with this beautiful embroidered ribbon lace. So all I'm doing here is measuring out the ribbon to my wrist. Now I have to admit I have a very tiny wrist, so I had to make it a little bigger than my wrist, because if not, it would not really serve as a bookmarker. And there's little Luna. Of course, she saw me crafting, and once she saw me crafting, she's, right there beside me. And throughout the whole process, both of my kitty cats have been in my room with me, cleaning and crafting. Now I'm using these little crimpers. I don't know if they're called crimpers, whatever they are, but you can find this in the jewelry aisle in any shop. And they're just little crimpers, so you can just put an edging to the end of your ribbon or lace so that it doesn't fray. And all I'm doing there is making a little corner just to make sure that the ribbon does not fray. Not only that, I didn't have the appropriate size for that lace, and I just wanted to use that particular lace. And again, I just fell in love with it. I mean, look at it, it's pink and blue and green. It's so cottagecore, so light academia. So I crimped those little, I put a little bit of glue obviously at the end of the fabric so it doesn't fray, and I crimped down those little crimpers with my jewelry tool. Now I'm adding, look at this beautiful closure. This is a jewelry necklace closure that was in my mom's stash that I've now inherited, and that's why my crafting stash has doubled, believe it or not, because of her stash as well. So as I'm going through her wonderful items now, are my items, I'm taking full advantage of all the items that I now have. Now crimping both ends, it's ready to wear. And again, it's just like a little bracelet that you can also use as a bookmark. Look how cute. I wish I could make it a little smaller, but it would just be a very small bookmark. But once you take it off, there it is. There's your little bookmark. Now, this is a neat way that I have found to store my ribbons, because if there's one thing I know is that we've all had massive amounts of ribbons, and this is the best way I have found. And what this is simply is this wooden box that I just happened to find. I don't know if I found it on the side of the road or something, and all I did was add these little, and there are these tiny little curtain rods that you can get at Walmart. There you have it, and extends the size of the box. I have this extra one just in case, as I might move this one up a little bit. And it's very easy to install, as you can see there. And what's cool about this is that you can pop it up from either side, add your ribbon, and then just pop it in again. And there you have it. Now, I have to be honest with you, sometimes I just need to have another storage area for ribbons as I add them, because they're not all going to be there. And you can see I put that one kind of wonky. I didn't clip it in all the way down. But I found these also at Hobby Lobby. These were like 90% off, and they're perfect to store my ribbon. They're easy to grab when I need them. And I also have something very similar to this on the back of my craft room door, where I have the larger ribbon spools. So this is another fun way to store your ribbon. Now, in the past, I've tried shelving, I've tried different ways of maintaining paint and boxes and stuff, and none of that worked. This year, I invested in getting myself one of those little carts, and this is going to be just my paint cart. So it's going to have all my paint brushes, it's going to have my Mod Podge, everything is there. And as you can see, I also keep like little plates here. so that I can use that when I am painting, you see? And the thing I like about it is that I can move it around with me. So as I need it for my projects, whether I do my projects here, my craft room, I have 2 desks here, and now I have 2 desks here. So if I need to move the paints from one side to another, it's not as much of a hassle. And it makes me a more efficient crafter because I know exactly what paints I have and what projects I can build with these paints. And I'm not interrupted by having to go to the craft store and buy additional paints. Everything is right here at my fingertips, including my tools and even my cleaning supplies for my paints. So think about that if that's an option for you. Now, flowers and florals are another very challenging item to maintain, manage, and keep around your craft room without making a big mess. Now, I have my little floral wall, and the way I created this was with a grid. Literally, it's like a metal grid type of drawer that I found on the side of the road. Yes, I found it on the side of the road, and I built this wall with just 3 or 4 of them. And to me, this has been the best thing I've done because not only is it pretty, it's functional. I have all my flowers here. I can see what I have right away. So if I need to pull roses now for St. Valentine's Day, or these pink roses or white roses, whatever colors I need, and I have fall as well, I try to move around my florals as I need them. Since I'm no longer in Christmas time, I either move them out and put them in containers and put them away until next year, such as fall and Christmas, or I just move them up if it's something that's kind of neutral that I can use all year long. So this is a great idea. Now, if you can't find a drawer, those metal drawers on the side of the road, you can always use these wonderful baskets at the Dollar Tree. You can use them in the same way, hang them on the wall, and then you can place your flowers here. And actually it looks really pretty because it makes your craft room look like a floral shop. So those are 2 very easy and inexpensive ways of storing your florals. Lastly, please understand this is a process. It's not a one and done kind of deal. This is an ongoing process. And you should make it a point for yourself, like maybe after every season, after every month, after every week, whatever is easiest for you. But realize that you have to maintain and manage what you have as part of your craft supplies. Know what you have, take inventory of what you have, so you don't spend, number one, more money or more time finding something else to replace something you already have. Now, I have to be honest, that's what I did many times this past year. I remembered that I thought I bought such and such a thing. Because I couldn't find it, I went out, spent that money again, and wouldn't you know it, I eventually found it again and felt bad because I already spent that money and didn't know if I was going to use it for another craft. But regardless, always keep your receipts as much as you can for your crafting supplies, and take inventory and take stock of what you already have. And if you have too much, if you honestly have too much and you're not going to use it, or you haven't used something in over a year, think about providing a blessing to someone else, or even just giving it away to, one of the thrift stores that can possibly find someone who really needs it. So I hope that this has helped you to get started with cleaning your craft room. Well, thank you again for stopping by, and thanks to all of my friends who joined this Cleanaplooza. I hope we've all inspired you to get started with cleaning your craft room and getting organized for the new crafting year. As I always say, stay safe, be kind, God bless each and every one of you, and remember to live the adventure. And if this video was of any value to you, I'd appreciate it if you like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to grow this wonderful community. Thanks again, and I'll see you again very soon.